Hey guys, welcome to today's video. In today's video we are going to be moving on to part 2 of our most extreme declutter ever. So what I'm going to be doing is we're going to start on the wardrobe over there we were working on last week. I'm going to be going through the shoes. We've quite a lot to get through. Not a huge amount, but like we've a good few to get through. All the washing and the laundry is done, so I have all them there. It's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. It's just taking up 2 little shelves here behind me. So I know that might seem like not like a lot, but it's just kind of the little finicky jobs, the little small spaces we kind of put off and leave to the side and don't do. So anyway, I'm not going to waffle on. I want to welcome you to the channel if you're new. I want to welcome you back if you have been here before. And without further ado, let's get started. What I want to do for right now is pull out all the shoes, go through what I have to go through, see what ones I can keep, which ones I can't keep. A lot of them are probably wrecked already. I'm bad at throwing away shoes. So I'm going to bring them all here and we're going to go through every single pair of them, keep what we need, get rid of what we don't. Now, most importantly folks, we have been joined by the supervisor. He's under inspection. He will be watching and monitoring our every move. Now, and the reason I don't mind being in here on the quilt is because I'm going to change this quilt later, so I'm not really bothered about him being on it. I don't mind him being in my room. Today I'm going to change the quilt cover because if he drops any hair around it, it'll be come straight off the bed. It also means that I have to change the bed or it'll be smothered in the morning. So under the supervision of our most professional, thank you, most wonderful and most handsome supervisor, we better get to work or we get in trouble. So there's a couple of things I want to discuss in today's video, and what I want to focus on is goals and objectives for the project. Now, goals and objectives and this kind of thing can apply to literally any project you want to take on, and I think it's a good thing to think about in any project, but specifically for decluttering I think it's really important for a couple of reasons. Now, the main reason is just to keep you on task and keep you on track of what you're doing. And the reason I say that is because decluttering, as satisfying and enjoyable and beneficial as it is, can become a very overwhelming task very easily. Either emotionally, physically, all of those kind of things. And that's why I think it's important to remember your goals. Because I know myself, sometimes when I'm doing it, especially when I'm taking on a really big declutter, when I'm at it for a long time, you can kind of get tired and you get worn out. And you can get to the point where you're like, I just want to stop, I'm done. But what I like to do is remember my goal and objective, and that kind of gives me that extra bit of energy I need to keep going and keep me on track. So I think it's important to set those goals for yourself before you start. And also, by setting the goals and the aims and being realistic with yourself and allowing yourself to have compassion for yourself and, you know, allowing it to not exactly be exactly what you want it to be all of the time, which may sound a bit strange. I think that's really important to allow you to have a good experience with decluttering. Now, I've heard so many stories of people who've started decluttering, they've never done it before. They didn't set any goals as such, they just kind of went, I want to clear out the place. And they've gotten very overwhelmed and they found it really stressful and really difficult. And I think it turns a lot of people off it if that can happen. But taking simple steps like planning ahead, setting goals for yourself, and some expectations, I think can be really, really productive. So one of the big goals that I set for myself doing this video was to basically finish off the wardrobe. That was like my baseline goal, finish off the wardrobe. And then the kind of additional goal I had was change the bed because it needs to be changed, and then pick up anything else that I kind of see that's related to what I'm doing. And I'm kind of breaking this decluttering series down into smaller parts to kind of give a better and more realistic view of what decluttering is. So in the past I've done, you know, huge decluttering videos with huge amounts of stuff, and I've, you know, recorded for hours and really sped everything up really, really fast and, you know, showed you so many things. And I think that in some cases that may not fully present to you exactly what's involved. And that's why I think setting goals is really important. If you start off your decluttering journey and you say to yourself, right, my goal or my aim or my objective or whatever phrase you want to use for this is to clean out this room, or it's to clear out this section of the room, it's to take care of this category, whether it be clothes or, you know, bedding or whatever category you're thinking of. I think the goal is really important so that you know what you're trying to achieve, exactly how much you're going to need to do it. And by what I mean by how much is how much time, resources, that kind of thing. It kind of gives you a better plan in your head and mentally kind of prepares you for the task at hand. Because one thing I will say about decluttering is it's brilliant and I love it and everyone should do it. But don't underestimate how draining it is, both physically and emotionally. The reason I say emotionally as well is some people have different attachments to different items, not just sentimental items. It can literally be stuff that you won't even realise you were attached to till you're faced with the decision to let go of it. And that's why I think it's important to set your goals. Now, your goal can even be something as simple as, I want to reduce the amount of clothes I have by 20% or by 10%, or I want to donate 15 items, or whatever your goal is. But I think it's really important to have a goal ahead of time. So when you get to those times during the process of decluttering where you're getting tired or you're getting exhausted or you're getting overwhelmed, that you kind of bring it back to basics, and referring to what I said last week, simplify it. And that goal will help to keep you on track and kind of keep you directed at where you're going and where you need to be, and help you to figure out how you're going to get there. In here, I either have shoes that I'm not going to wear. Like, I have these, guys. I have these years. I've never worn them. They're like, you know, those shoes. I'll wear them one day. Like, I won't. They're very high, which is like, they're not that, they're honestly not really that high. But my ankles aren't great. So honestly, I would probably be terrified I'd hurt myself in them. And I absolutely love and adore these boots. You guys have never seen me wear them because I don't wear them anymore. Because although they're fine here, they look okay on the outside. I forgot that there was a pad. I put like an insole thingy into them. It's literally stuck to the bottom now, but I've been insoling them because the sole wore all the way through. So, and I put them on there, like, they're fine, but they're kind of wrecked, and the heel kind of felt a bit loose. So I was like, they're flats. If the heel's loose, the flats, they're just gonna break. And then pretty much, like, I have these really cute boots that I really like, but honestly I don't feel comfortable wearing them with the heel on them. I don't really wear heels. My ankles have gotten bad since I broke one of them, and they just kind of gotten worse over the years. So until I have much stronger ankles, I won't be wearing heels. But also they're not comfortable at all. Like, I've worn them before, there's a bit of wear on the sole, but it's all on one side and they're just not comfortable. So yeah, and the rest are just runners that are worn the whole way through. I actually found these runners here that have, like, literally, I don't think these have ever been worn. Maybe they've been worn once, I don't know. But if you look at the sole there, it's like, it's a brand new sole. It's never been worn, and like, there's no marks seems to be on the ankles and the inside of the shoes over time. There's nothing, and the side of them is immaculate. So I don't think I've actually ever worn these. So that's great. I have these. These are still really comfortable. I only wore them like 2 weeks ago. I have the shoes I have on. These ones. These are very nearly gone. Honestly, to be honest, you know what? Actually, to be honest, these are gone. Yeah, I've just looked at the sole of them. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the sole's wrecked. I just like these because they're so quick and easy to slip on. And I usually keep these until I replace them, but to be honest, these are bunch, and you know what the worry is, I'll probably wear them and forget they're wrecked, and then they'll hurt me. So we'll get them gone too. And honestly, do you know what? I kept these last year. I never once wore them. I'm letting them go. I'm letting them go, guys. I'm letting them go. I'm done. So that's gone. I don't have an attachment to shoes. It's not a thing I did. I used to be really big into shoes when I was younger. Like a teenager, I used to love looking up all like the designer shoes, and I didn't own any of them, but I loved going to shop and looking. They're all sparkly and da da da. And then I realised that none of them came in my size. So I kind of give up on that one. But yeah, so I'm keeping brand new pair. Barely been worn pair. They're fine actually. And actually I've worn them a few times. I have. But look, they're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. I have the pair of shoes I have on me. I have some flippity flops. I actually have another flip-flops. Another pair of flip-flops. Actually, I'm gonna grab them right now. Got my other flip-flops. And I got these. These are like going out ones. Now, I got these. I've only worn these once, guys, and I wore them to a wedding. But it's the only pair of flats I have. Or like going out shoes. So until I get a new pair, I'm going to wear them. Or I'm gonna keep them, should I say. Because I have no other, like, when I say to you guys, this is my shoes, I'm not pretending like I have another, you know, wardrobe somewhere, another shelf somewhere, another press with my shoe. I don't. Like, this is literally it. This is every pair of shoes I own. I probably have a pair of work boots in the garage. And that'll be about it. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's a reasonable amount of shoes to keep. I'm going to bring all the clothes across. This is all my clothes. For contact, in case I was wondering, that's all my laundry. And then it's the clothes I'm wearing currently. I'm gonna go through all these and decide what to keep and what to let go. As I was saying to you guys, a lot of the underwear are crap and I don't like them. Oh, I've missed one. There's my socks. I have the basket over there. Throughout this week, there's a couple of pair of underwear and stuff I've put on, you know, just to wear, and they're horrible, so I literally just threw them straight out. I think I've thrown away 4 pairs so far this week. Everything else here is all the clothes that I have. So I'm gonna go through all this stuff now and clear up what we can. And I'll check back in. These are the tops as well that I had to make a decision on last week, the tank tops. I literally just brought the clothes up, so I'm gonna make a decision on these now as well. So I think an important part of setting goals for yourself is to also come up with a plan for how you're going to achieve them. Now, you can make a simple list, you can break it down into subcategories and categories and make a PowerPoint presentation and an Excel spreadsheet where you can literally just make a list with a couple of bullet points. It is totally up to you and it's totally dependent on what works for you. And that's one thing that I think is really important. I think a lot of people, when they start decluttering, they think that there's one method and you have to do it this way and there's all these rules and all this kind of stuff. And to be honest, in my opinion, some of the recommendations and quote unquote rules can be helpful, but I don't think they work for everyone. And I think you need to adjust as you go. And also, the more you declutter, the more you're going to learn. You're going to learn what works for you. You're going to learn what doesn't work for you, what you find beneficial, what you don't. Every time I declutter, I learn something new. I learn what doesn't work for me. I learn the methods that make me better at it, whether that be faster at it or just more efficient or just, you know, better at decision making or whatever the topic may be. But I think it's really important to bear that in mind when you're, you know, going through the process of decluttering, because I've read like quite a few books on decluttering and I've watched the shows and I've seen the videos and I've done all the things, and you know, because decluttering is something I really enjoy doing. Now, some people, they'll declutter once a year. Some people do it once a month, once a week. It really depends on your own personal preferences. But I think it's important before you start to make a plan for yourself and allow flexibility within your plan. Now, what I'm talking about when I say that is, say, for example, you've decided, I want to get rid of 50% of the clothing in the house. Now, you may have children, you may have parents, grandparents living with you. You know, you may be living by yourself. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that you have a plan that's going to work for you and your goals and make them achievable. And what I'll say as well in relation to flexibility is, say you're going to get rid of 50% of your clothes. If you're somebody that has, 3 hours to do decluttering today, be realistic in your expectation that, it's very likely you're not going to get it all done. And that's by no means to discourage you in any way. I really don't want to discourage you in any way. But what I'm saying is if you want to get rid of 50% of your clothing, it doesn't necessarily have to be today that you do it. And that's what I mean by flexibility. It may take you 2 days or 3 days or a week or 3 weeks or whatever. And I think you have to allow for your own personal circumstances. Now, if you're someone with children, I don't have kids myself, but I've been around a lot of kids and I've a lot of family members with kids and I've babysat a lot of kids in my life. And one thing I know about kids is they can be unpredictable and it's very hard to plan things around them. So you may have set a goal that you're going to spend 3 solid hours today doing stuff. And if you're on your own, that's probably an achievable goal. But if you have 2 or 3 or 4 or even one child in the house, that may not necessarily be achievable for you. And what I'm saying is, there's big goals, there's small goals. You can break them down. You can have just generalized thoughts. There's multiple ways to do this. And I think that's really important to keep in mind. So when you're setting the goals, say like, as I mentioned previously, I want to get rid of 50% of the clothes. You can do that multiple ways. You can do it that you're removing clothes as they're coming out of the laundry. This XYZ doesn't fit anymore. That's a good time to get rid of it. You may like to do it in the method like this, that you sit down, you pull all the clothes together and you go through them like that. Now, personally, I like to do that. I like to get everything together, get everything out into one pile and do it that way, because I think that gives you a much more realistic picture of what you're dealing with. Because if you saw last week's video, you saw that I went through like a load of clothes. I pretty much got rid of almost everything. Well, I'd say like probably 70% anyway of the pile that I had. And then I had all this laundry to do. And we knew that, like I said that going in. And I was trying to keep that in mind while I was doing the first kind of section of decluttering, that I had all this laundry to go through. So when I was keeping those extra socks or t-shirts or whatever, I kept saying to myself, remember, you have all the laundry to go through still. You have all that stuff. And that is stuff that you wear regularly. So you're realistically probably going to keep it and wear it again. And I think you kind of have a good idea yourself of what you have and what you don't have and kind of what you need. And I think that's important to remember when you're doing this kind of thing. Now, obviously, getting rid of 50% of your clothes is a huge goal. I'm picking a random number out of the sky. There's no need for you to get rid of 50% of your clothes if that doesn't work for you or that's not what you want to do. The goals are completely customizable and that's the whole thing. But I think it's important to have them. And it's important to set, and be aware of your own limitations. And, you'll do things and you'll undo things and you'll redo things and you'll adjust and you'll change. And that's kind of all part of it. But I think having that overall initial goal is really, really important. Now, I don't want to sit here and repeat myself over and over again. So we've covered goals and keeping them achievable. So I'm going to move on because you know me, I could talk for literally a day about this. But the next thing I'm going to say is expectations and limitations of the goals. That's one thing I'd like to talk about. Have expectations for your goals and let them be realistic. Now, there's nothing to say you can't get rid of, for example, 50% of your clothes. There's nothing to say you can't. But you also have to allow for the fact that that's probably going to take quite a big amount of time. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some energy. It's going to take some effort. And with that, I'm saying, if you're doing this job yourself, you can assess, it's going to take this amount of time, this amount of effort, blah, 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 whatever your conditions that you have. But if you have multiple people doing this, the job's going to go slightly differently and you need to adjust your expectations to match that. So if you have kids, you may want to get the kids to help out with their own clothing or their own toys or their own whatever category or room you're doing or whatever. And I think it's really helpful to do that and to teach them how to do it, because I think it's a good life skill for everyone to have. But if you teach your kids young to do it, they'll always do it. Obviously you'll probably have to remind them because, they're kids and they may not want to do it all the time. But I think it's a really, really good thing for, skill and thing for any of us to have. And also, realistically, in the long term, it's probably going to make it easier for you if they know how to do it. But I think setting the expectations early, saying this is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to achieve it. This is my plan. This is how much stuff I need. Because things to consider when you're decluttering, do you have boxes or bags to store the stuff you're getting rid of or donating? or putting in the rubbish or garbage, whatever you like to call it. Do you have room to store the stuff? Because we can all fill boxes and bags full of clothes and toys and homewares and, kitchen stuff and shoes and all the things. And then it's like you've nowhere to store them. Excuse me. Or you end up having to put them all in one room. And then if that's a room that's used regularly, what very oftentimes happens if you keep the stuff in your house, you start going, oh, let me just have a little look in that bag and that little box. And you can start undoing things and taking back stuff and second guessing them. And, and that's why I'm saying have your plan and have your expectations ahead of time. Because say, for example, you're starting, one thing that I usually like to do before I start is I like to start either the day before the bins are to go out, so I can get rid of as much recycling and, trash and whatever as I need to, or the day the bins are emptied, depending on which way it lands. So I have empty bins to work with depending on how much stuff I have. And you kind of adjust to what you need. Like if I know I'm going to have like 2 small shopping bags of stuff, I'll probably do it the day the bins are going to go out, because, there's probably room left. But if I have, 45 cardboard boxes, I'm going to need to do it when the bins are empty, or I'm going to need to organise to go to the recycling centre. Another good tip to do is to ring ahead to the places that you're going to make donations to and see if they're accepting donations. Because I've done it before that I've got so many donations, especially in the past doing kitchen declutters. I've gotten huge amounts of donations and then I didn't ring ahead and I went down and they're like, oh, we're not taking donations. Or we're only taking clothing, or we're only taking homewares or books or whatever. So I think it's a good idea to ring ahead and say, are you accepting donations? And to also figure out the kind of categories of stuff they're going to take. Because I had like a few homeware bits before and I brought them down to my local charity shop only to discover that they don't take anything electronic. And I had some really nice pieces, like, small appliances and stuff. So check that stuff out before you begin, because it will make your life easier in the long run. And there's nothing worse than spending 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever number of hours or days cleaning out, for example, your kitchen, and getting, boxes full of stuff only to discover that the donation place you want to go to either can't take them or won't take them. And then you've boxes full of stuff lying around and you've nowhere to put them. And you're falling over them. Especially when you're trying to get yourself decluttered and organised and you're trying to be less stressed, and then you end up being more stressed because you're falling all over everything. But that's the thing I'd say, set the expectations and the planning early. And, set the expectations for that. When you're looking at your clothes, if you have, a box for recycling, is that realistic? Are you going to need 1 box? Are you going to need 10 boxes? Are you going to need, 25 garbage bags or whatever? And like set up stuff like that and pre-planning to match those expectations. Like if you're going to need 25 boxes, are you going to, go up? Have you got like boxes in the house that you can use? Are you going to go and buy boxes? Because that can get very expensive very quickly. Or are you going to go to like supermarkets? I don't know about outside of Europe, but I know in Europe, if you go to the supermarkets, like the grocery stores, and ask them for the boxes, most of them will give them to you. And they'll just say, yeah, big boxes, small boxes, they don't care. They're going to recycle them anyway. And if they haven't put them into their compactors yet, they'll give you the boxes. Like it saves them, having to recycle them, which probably saves them money, and you get to use them and not have to pay a fortune on buying cardboard boxes that you're probably never going to use again. And this is a slightly kind of probably obscure one maybe, but also check if your local donation centre has certain requirements for donations. Because I remember before bringing down a load of donations to our donation area, like they said they'd take them, everything was fine. And then I got down there and they said, oh no, everything has to be in black bags, like garbage bags. So I had to transfer everything. Like thankfully they had a roll of them there. But the girl there, like she's very nice, but she said to me, look, can you in future bring them down in black bags? Number one, we don't always have black bags left in the shop, but also that's how we have to store them, because that's just how their system works. So I was like, okay, good to know for future reference. And she said to me that sometimes if you bring stuff down in the black bags, they just can't. If they're not in black bags, should I say, they just won't take them. They can't. So it's like little small things like that that'll make your life easier. Planning, you know, the supplies you're going to need to do it. Now, you can even do simple stuff like, you know, sorting as well ahead of time. You know, some people I know will not buy the boxes, they'll use bags, or they'll use, like, I like to use the IKEA bags because they're really big and they hold a lot. And they're also super inexpensive to buy. I think in Ireland, now I could be wrong on this, and it's a while since I've bought one, but I think the last time I bought them, those big blue ones, I think they were 75 cents in IKEA. Now I could be completely wrong and mixing it up with something else. I can't remember exactly, but it's around that price, so it's quite inexpensive. And I know some people like to, well, what I like to do myself is I use those bags to, you know, have all the stuff because they hold a lot and they're easy to carry because they have the big straps on them. And then from there I can go down and put stuff into donation, recycling, you know what I mean, whatever, laundry, whatever I need. But that can be quite a good inexpensive way. And then you can, if you are a person that wants to buy boxes, you know, then when you have those IKEA bags, say for example, filled, then you know, oh, I'm going to need 3 boxes, I'm going to need 5 boxes. Okay guys, so sorry, the camera died, so there was like 3 pairs that just popped in there. And then I have a couple more pairs just in here. And I have this one random sock now. This looks like my new socks. Like it really looks like my new socks because I have this kind of like towdy padding stuff on them. So I'm gonna hold on to this one. I'm gonna pop it into this big one here because it may be like under the bed or something. It's the only one. Like there's literally one, so I don't really mind about one. It could be, you know, it could be like over there somewhere that I brought up a spare sock or whatever. So, oh crap. As you can see here, the sock basket is empty. Okay, there's a bob in it, but apart from that, it's empty. I'm actually getting rid of all these. So, like you can see, like a lot of my socks, if you know, you look at them quickly, like they look grand. You know, that one looks fine, not the best. But then, the heels are completely gone. And I noticed that this week wearing a couple of these. Okay, this one I'll actually keep. I don't know why it's here. I must have taken it out by accident. And the annoying thing is some of my favourite socks are here as well. There's this one here. There's the Refreshers, which I love, but the heel is worn through. Same with the fruit salad. The heel is worn through. The problem is they're my favourite socks, so I wear them constantly for ages. And then I have a blue pair in the laundry basket. The white ones, they're gone after. They're washed. So these are all going into the bag here. So far already, even though I've already technically done my clothes, I have 2 bags. Oh, crap. So these are like reindeer warm winter socks. They're super cozy. They're like bed socks, so I'll keep them. This is the only pair of them I have. I got rid of all my fluffy socks. And these are like walking socks. So I'm going to pop them in here as well. And so I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing because otherwise I'll just start ramming. I might just start ramming stuff in. So I know that doesn't look very tidy. Like it looks pretty messy, but it's hard to do with like the underwear and the socks. To make it look tidy, like it really is. Now I could spend an hour here, like, you know, folding them in a very particular way. But like, guys, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude, but who has the time? Who has the frickin' time? And I was actually surprised by how many pajamas I got rid of. Because to be honest, I was going to keep a lot of these. But like these ones here, these kind of warmy, fleecy pajamas, I really like these. Primark brought these out. They're like Harry Potter ones, but what I liked was the trousers them are super long. And they actually fit me, which never happens. And I know a lot of people complain saying they were too long. But I didn't have that problem. But yeah, oh, here's another one that can go. So, let me quickly go through what I have left here. So this is all going. Just pop them over there. So those 2 bags are going. This is my Christmas jumper. So I may just put that in on a hanger and put it in the wardrobe. I don't know yet, I haven't decided. Now this one here is like, I love this hoodie and I wear it a lot because it's super comfortable. But it's like, I like the pink hood. But there's a big paint stain on the front. Do you know what? No, I'm getting rid of it. I've decided there and then, no, I'm getting rid of it. Because you know why? I literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hoodies. 8. I have 8 hoodies. This is a lot, like. So I forgot to put this t-shirt in a basket as well. So, you know, I'm getting rid of that black one. Like, I really like it's got the cute pink hood and everything. But, that's not a reason. I'm just popping this in here on top. The t-shirt's just there. Oh, yeah, I didn't show you guys this. So, I've got, like, you know, those slippery things. Gloves, hats, scarves, that kind of thing. T-shirts, bras. And then, like, I have one pair of leggings in there and t-shirt. And then down the bottom here, I've got shorts, I have pants, got some cardigans, I've got these like, again, like swimsuits and like workout stuff. And then I got that little first aid kind of thingy there. That's pretty good. And then that's the wardrobe. Like the wardrobe's half full. And honestly guys, I'll be really honest with you, see these jeans here? Some of the ones I kept, I already know will be gone soon. I kept them because they hadn't worn through. Like this one here is going to wear through pretty soon. I don't know if you can see that, but see, you can see it there, the kind of whiteness on the denim. And the problem as well is, see, me gone being that I am, tumble dried these because the company that I buy from, Long Tall Sally, they got bought over. That was fine. And I never checked. I made another order. And I never checked the care instructions because I've bought from Long Tall Sally forever. And then I found they started using recycled plastic. And I was like, that's amazing. The thing about recycled plastic, guys, it doesn't do well exposed to heat. Oh, what are you doing, camera? Hello? Hello? So, guys, just so you know, you're on my phone. Because my camera died. Just literally in the middle of it and just stopped. So I don't know how much you've missed. I don't think you've missed much. I think maybe 15 seconds or so. So I'm actually going to make a decision. I am, in fact, actually going to have to hang the 3 of these. Actually, no, do you know what? I remembered one more thing I have. A gorgeous thing I got for my auntie for Christmas. This cute cardigan. It's just, it hasn't been warm enough to wear it, to be honest. So I'm going to hang that as well. So I'm going to hang these 4 items.
Even if you tried, you wouldn't understand it. Maybe something's missing inside of you. Just a bit of sugar to that horrid bit.
One problem I have is that my clothes took up a lot of room, like more than the average person's clothing. So, you know, whereas like I watch all these videos and it's like, oh, look at this. I got 17 t-shirts into this like organizer. And it's like, if I was 5'2", I could do that. And like a size 10, I could do that. But I'm not, so I can't. But, and it's like I've reduced the clothes down like a lot. You guys saw how much I got rid of already. They're still not out here. They're in next door because I just haven't had time, to be honest. I could lie and say they're gone. They're not, like. But I've now 2. And I think this will fill the stuff I've gotten rid of today. Here, sorry, I don't even know if you guys can see it. Right here. This will fill a 3rd IKEA bag. That's how much stuff I've gotten rid of. But it's like, it still feels like I've gotten rid of nothing. And that's also because I had so much stuff on the shelves for such a long time. Yeah, like I'm still not happy with this wardrobe. Like there's times where I feel like I'm never going to be happy with this wardrobe. And part of that to do is the layout of it. It's the size of the drawers. I just wish the drawers were like a little bit bigger or a little bit... Like you can even see here, like in here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4... We'll call it 5. But like they are rammed in there. Like they're freaking rammed in there. And it's like the boxes as well, as you can see, like I had to push the stuff down because obviously my clothes are longer than the average person. Because I know with this, usually when you hang jeans, they don't go anywhere near it. But as you can see with mine, they're brushing the top of it. And it's just little things like that. Like my clothes are very long. You know what I mean? So like I can't just have the jumper sitting on top because they don't just actually sit on top. I don't know if you can see it. They actually sit below this. So if I pull them across, they're catching in the drawers and, you know, it's a whole freaking thing. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this channel was to like figure out solutions for people like me, for taller people. Like on average, my trousers are, you know, based on women's, I think, My trousers are 5 to 6 inches longer than standard women's trousers. Say my jumpers are 3 to 4 inches longer in the body and the sleeves as well. So like all those inches add up in fabric, and you know the clothes get much thicker, and you know it's frustrating. Anyway, we've done a lot today. I was hoping to do the drawers behind me here, but honestly those clothes took way longer than I thought they would. No one is shocked, literally no one. And the shoes as well. Like the shoes didn't take much time, but going through all those clothes, because to be honest I wasn't folded to plan them all, I was just going to sort through them, but then I was like, as I'm here I'll fold them, you know. And honestly I knew I'd get rid of some underwear, but I didn't realise how much. Like this bag here, apart from these like pajama sets on top, like everything under there is underwear. Like it's nearly, or no, sorry, this bag here, I tell you a lie, this bag here, nearly all of this is underwear. So like that's a lot of underwear to get rid of. Like there's my hand for context. There's a lot more I wanted to get done, but my camera, as you see over there, is dead as a dodo. The battery is charging. Oh yeah, somebody asked me the last day, what's this? So that over there, that little thingy there, that machine there is my breathing machine. Because I have sleep apnea. Now I seriously about myself to sleep with that at night, so I don't die. That wardrobe now is done. I can fully say 100% confident that wardrobe is totally done. So I'm really happy about that. Honestly, we spent much more time than I thought we would, but that's also because we folded everything and put it into the boxes. Is it folded the best I've ever folded it? Absolutely not. But as I said, the whole point was to get it organised, to go through and to declutter. And this is the thing I've mentioned so many times before on the channel. When you're picking a task, stay on task. If you're doing decluttering, stick with decluttering. Now, I've done decluttering a lot of times, so I don't mind doing a bit of folding, doing a bit of tidying and organising. That doesn't bother me. But I know with some people, especially if you're not very experienced, if you start doing that, you're going to get really overwhelmed really, really fast. So do what you're capable of. And as I said last week, know your limitations. Really, really important to know your limitations. Also, they're not properly folded. I would usually like fold them in 3 and, you know, do the thing and make them look all file folded and pretty and crap. But I was just like, get them into the boxes. Will they fit? Yes or no? And that was another thing I forgot to mention. The great thing about those boxes is they set a boundary for you. You know, so if they don't fit in that box, you don't keep them. Simple as that. That's one of the things I did today. Everything that went into that dresser, the chest of drawers, whatever you want to call it, I was like, that's the boundary. I'm not hanging t-shirts. I'm not hanging tracksuit bottoms. I'm not hanging, you know, tops. Anything like that. No way. The cardigans I already had hung. I knew I may have had to keep them hanging. I mentioned that last week. But the boundary was everything that was in that dresser. So that's why we got rid of quite a bit of stuff like this hoodie. And I'm still struggling with this hoodie because I really, really like it. Guys, I'll be honest with you, the reason I like it is because the hood is pink. Like, that's essentially the entire crux of why I like this hoodie. Because the hood is a cute pink colour. And it's comfy. Like, it's really comfy. I wish I could explain how comfy it is. Like, it's really soft on the inside. Now, may I backtrack and keep it? Yeah, I may. Okay, I'm not perfect. I know, no, I thought it was. But still, just to clarify. Yeah, anyway, look, I'm rambling on like a gombean. So, clarify what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back up here in a little while. I'm probably going to take this off now. Get this crap out of here. Get the shoes out. And then we're going to go from there. And then over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing other videos about other stuff. And I want you guys to let me know in the comments down below. Do you want an update on the clothes? If you don't, I'm not going to bother. Because I don't want to share and crap what you have no interest in. But like as the jeans go, I'm going to get rid of them. And as the stuff wears out, I'm going to get rid of it. And as I wear the tops, I'm going to get rid of them. Because I have older tops from the company I buy and they're a bit smaller, so they're a bit short on me and they're not comfortable. So I've already decided if I put them on and they're too short straight away, I'm getting rid. So without short of me trying on every single item of clothing, which for the record I was not going to do. You know, I'll end up wearing it over the next couple of weeks. Because honestly, I do not have the energy and it is too freaking warm to be doing stuff like that. I'm going to wrap this up here. Realistically, the next thing you're going to see is me changing the bed and then I'll be done. So the last thing I kind of want to touch on here is limitations. And what I mean by that is allowing and setting limitations for yourself. And also being aware of your own limitations. And the reason I say that is it's very easy to get swept away with decluttering and saying, oh, you know, I'm going to do this section and ending up spending 10 and 12 hours doing it. Which I know to some people might sound absolutely insane, which is totally fair enough. But it is a thing that has happened to me in the past where I've started in the morning and said, I'm going to do this till lunchtime. And then before I know where it is, it's 5 o'clock in the evening. And I've spent the whole day doing it. And the limitation, I'd say, as well, is to pick a section or an area, because what can happen is if you go into this huge, massive decluttering and you get kind of caught up in it, then you've covered your entire room with all the stuff you've pulled out, with all of the things that you want to get sorted, and then it gets to 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever time of night, and you're exhausted. You've pushed yourself very hard, physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever, and then it's time to go to bed, and you can't go to bed because your entire bed is covered in stuff that you're sorting and decluttering. So in that way, I would say set physical limitations for yourself. Come up here. Up here, no. Over here, come here. Come here, up here. Up here. Come on, up. Hi. Now, when I'm referring to physical limitations there, I'm not just saying, what you're physically able to do. Obviously, that's very, very important. And you shouldn't push yourself beyond that, because that's just not good for you in general. But what I mean is physical limitations, like set an actual physical space. For example, you can see me putting the sheet on the bed. That could be your physical limitation marker, like that visual square. And that can be really good for, keeping the stuff that's really important to you when you're decluttering. You can even have a box when you're decluttering and you can say, oh, I have 35 cushions, but I only have enough space in the cupboard that I want to put it in for this box, or even use the cupboard, whatever works for you. And what you do is you say to yourself, that box is where all my cushions are going to go. So I'm going to fill that up with cushions until it's full, and then I'm not going to keep any more than that. And I think that helps to make you much more selective and keep the stuff that's really important to you, but also the stuff that you really like. Because I know myself can fall into a trap of, oh, but what if I needed another time? But I really like that one as well. Or, oh, that one's cute. And I'm using the example of cushions because I have many cushions that are not comfortable to lie on, or that aren't particularly nice, or they're a weird shape. But I'm like, oh, but it's really pretty. And if you want to keep it because it's really pretty, keep it because it's really pretty. But, so long as you're going to use it, because there's no point in you keeping a really pretty thing shoved in the back of a press that never gets opened, But yeah, physical limitations and boundaries, that kind of stuff, I think are really important to set limitations for yourself in that way. I would also say set physical limitations. Remember to take breaks regularly, guys. It's really important. Physically and mentally. Make sure to hydrate. I would suggest bringing a drink with you into whatever room you're working in. Bottle of water or whatever drink you want to drink. Make sure you take rest, as often as you need to. When you're getting tired, if you need to take 5 minutes, take 5 minutes. Please look after yourself, because decluttering is a process that is mentally and physically challenging. It's going to take a lot out of you. It's so beneficial, and I promise it's worth it in the end. Okay, guys, so that is the end of today's video. I really, really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope that you're enjoying the series so far. If you have any questions, queries, anything like that, or anything you want to ask me or tell me, drop it in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, I'm going to ask you to please hit the thumbs up and give me a like. And if you enjoyed this series and want to continue watching it, if you want to check out more of my videos and be notified when new one comes out, hit the subscribe button and go to my channel. If you want to ring the bell, you'll be notified when new videos are live. I'm really happy with the progress we made today. I think it turned out pretty well. We still have a lot to do in this room, but I'm glad that we're, keeping on it. We're keeping consistent. We're doing it every week. We're doing a little bit every week, and we're keeping on working on it, because this room just can get out of hand really, really fast. And as you guys saw, it did get out of hand. But I'm even feeling better just every single day being in the room, that it's more tidy, more organised, and there's more clutter coming out of it. And there's just less clutter in it, to be honest. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, a great weekend, and a wonderful week ahead. And I will talk to y'all soon. Okay, love y'all. Bye.